create a new tables format or a new labels format report. A table format report prints out in the shape of a spreadsheet, and a label is more for doing mailing labels and such. So we're going to create a new table format report. We're going to create it from scratch, and we'll call this grade. Again, we'll get a layout just like what we would have normally on the screen in multi-record layout. So we're going to use the arrow keys and try and compress this so it'll fit a little bit better on the screen. If you have a wide carriage printer, of course, you can fit more data in your report. We'll just compress it a little bit. It looks pretty good the way it is. Now, in order to see everything in the proper order, we're going to turn on the auto sort options. And the category for the auto sort option will be whatever category you have the cursor on at the time that you press Open Apple A. So you press Open Apple A, category is standard ID, and we want it to sort from 0 to 9 because it's a number. In addition to that, we want to add group totals so that each group will come up with a set of totals. It'll group student IDs together. We want to print the data and the group totals, so we're going to say no to print group totals only. And go to a new page after each group total. No, that's not necessary either in our case. Then we want to go over to the part that we want to total and press Open Apple T to add the total for that column. And now that total will print out after every individual student. Now we'll just go ahead. We've created the report, so we'll hit Open Apple P to print it. I'm going to print it to the screen so we can have a look at it. And you can see the cumulative scores show up for each student. Okay, there may be one more thing that you might want to do. You might want to keep tabs on how your student's progressing and be able to send letters back to parents about how that person is doing. In this case, we can use several of the new features of the word processor. First thing we'll do is we'll create a student note, which I've already got typed in here. But of course, you want to put in a header to this note and be able to do it fairly easy. In this case, we'll hit Open Apple A and create a glossary. We have several glossaries already defined. And what a glossary is a quick way of being able to bring in data from a database and type it quickly in with formatting characters into a word processor. We're going to choose one of the undefined glossaries. We'll call this Student Memo. Our glossary file is going to be the student names file. We're going to put in some prefix text here because first we want to say to colon and then a space and Open Apple return to end. And then we want to pull in the data for the parent name, and we'll put some information after that. We want to have it do a carriage return and 4 spaces to put it back even with the colon, and then pull in the address, and then again a carriage return, 4 spaces, city, and actually after the city we want to put we aren't going to go to the next line, so we're going to put a comma and then a space. And after the city, we're going to put the state, and after the state, 2 spaces to go in between the state and the zip code. And after the zip code, let's just put a couple of returns to give us some space. Okay, and one more thing that I needed to do was to go in and put the list category in. This is how we're going to be able to choose what student we're making this glossary entry to, and I created that as being the student name. Okay, now we can go back into our letter, and now when we press Open Apple G, it allows you to choose what glossary you're going to select from. We're going to take Student Memo, and then you choose the student that you want to send this memo to, and it automatically types in the information. Another thing that we might want to do is do a form letter that will fill in the names from all of these students, and maybe it's something we want to send out to the parent. I've got one of those already filled out here. This is a problem report. AppleWorks 4 makes it very easy to fill in the mail merge information in this case. All we have to do is go to Open Apple O. Oh, actually, first, before we do that, we should hit Open Apple A, and we'll add an item for the merge database. In this case, again, we're going to go from student names, and then Open Apple O, and there's a new function way down in the lower right-hand corner called Mail Merge. We type in MM for Mail Merge. We want to put the parent's name in. Okay, and you can see the parent's name comes up in the top in a new Mail Merge item. We'll go down to the next line. Open Apple O, Mail Merge, the address. You can see how easy AppleWorks makes this to do now. Oops, Open Apple O, Mail Merge again, city, put a comma, space, Apple O, Mail Merge, the state, and the zip code. Okay, now that we've got the mail merge codes in, we can just go ahead and print this file. And we're going to print to a text file on disk so we can see it. And standard text format with tabs, and merge the database items. Then we have to choose a name for the letter, and parent letter is already out there, so we'll call this parent file. And it prints it out. Now if we load in our text file that we just printed out, you'll see that we got one copy of the letter for each student. We've still only shown you a few of its capabilities, but the more you use AppleWorks 4, the more you'll realize how powerful it really is.
It took us 6 months to bring you AppleWorks 4.0.
We hope you enjoy using it even more than we enjoyed creating it.